Rick, great to see you. This is an incredible story. I mean, I saw a lot of reactions on Twitter from, well-meaning fans of the president even saying, is it bad that I didn't know we had 6 Americans being held in Venezuela? So just give us a little background on who these people are.
Well, first of all, I have to say I'm still really emotional about what happened Friday. It was probably the highlight of my career to be able to represent America, to represent the president, and to watch what was happening in real time to negotiate. Not only did we get the hostages back without paying a penny and without trading any hostages, which is really important, but we also got the Venezuelan government to bring their planes to the United States to take illegal immigrants in our country from Venezuela back to Venezuela. They are sending the planes and they are paying for it. I think this is the new standard. It's pretty amazing. But the negotiations were obviously very secret. I left Friday morning super early. I went on an Air Force plane, had Air Force protection. The Air Force is amazing. They've got young people who just are totally committed and working in secret and working around the clock. We flew out of Washington, D.C. We landed in Caracas and made our way into the presidential palace. There hadn't been a White House official there in Caracas in a very long time. And I started negotiating with the Maduro team and then eventually with Nicolas Maduro. And it was pretty amazing to be there and to negotiate on behalf of the U.S. But we had a clear mandate from President Trump. He knew what he wanted. We knew what the parameters were, and the pressure was on to deliver.
What was that clear mandate?
First of all, to get the illegal immigrants in our country back to Venezuela. And they needed to accept all of these individuals, including the awful group, the Tren de Aragua. And we needed to make them realize that they had to take them back. And we went for everything by saying, you need to provide the planes, you need to pay for it, you need to come get them. And there are, hundreds of thousands. And so there's going to be a big group going back to Caracas. And then the president wanted us to focus on the hostages. There are 12 Americans at least, we may have found a couple of more while we were there, that are in essence hostages. They're held on really lame charges. But we had a conversation about the individuals. It's the Venezuelans government position. It's Nicolas Maduro's position that some of these individuals were arrested because of terrorism charges or individuals that were trying to kill the president of Venezuela or the vice president. And what I said to Nicolas Maduro very clearly, I said, look, if you've got evidence that individuals were trying to kill you or the vice president, those are serious issues. We should absolutely prosecute those individuals. We are with you on that. We agree on that. However, we need to share information because our information doesn't say that. Our information says that some of these individuals were simply working in the military, a former Navy SEAL who didn't do anything wrong, but you're reading their background and pretending like they were there and sent there by the U.S. government. We in the U.S. understand that there are, millions of people who served in the military and who then leave the military and proudly carry their military experience with them as they go into life, whether they're vacationing in Colombia and going over the border accidentally into Venezuela, or meeting a woman that they were interested in for the weekend in Venezuela. These are all innocent human issues, and it's our job to explain that. So some of these individuals, it's going to take some time, but we are very focused on making the case and sharing the information to be able to get the others out. But we did have 6. We were able to successfully argue that these 6 were absolutely innocent. They're not political in nature, and they deserve to come home. And we were able to
look at this picture.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
So that's you with the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They all appear to be approaching middle age or around middle age.
Some of them were young, although the guy in the middle was young.
The guy with your arm that you have your arm around, he looks younger, with all due respect. The others look closer to your age and my age.
I have to tell one story, Megyn, that I haven't told anybody this publicly, and it's pretty remarkable. You'll see if you pull up that picture that 4 of them are in kind of their prison blue uniforms and 2 are in regular uniform. And what happened was we negotiated for 6, and the 4 in blue actually had said when we got on the plane, so they said, where are the other 2? We were released into this room, and we had the other 2 guys with us, and they asked us to shave and to get ready, get cleaned up. And 2 of the individuals said, we're not doing this again. We've done this 4 or 5 times. This is fake. We're not doing this again. And they refused to follow the rules and get cleaned up. The other 4 did. And what ended up happening over time that we only learned later was that the Venezuelan government found 2 other Americans to replace them. They didn't have time to get everything together, so they were in their plain clothes, and that's why there are 2 others not in blue. It's heartbreaking to think that there were 2 individuals that could have been released, but they thought that once again this was just a head fake from the Venezuelan government, and so they refused to play the game, not knowing, not realizing that this was for real.
Oh no! So are we going to go back for them? By your total that you said 12, that we should have 6 still there.
Yeah, there's at least 6. We think we found another 2 because we interviewed these individuals. As you can imagine, if you're in prison, one of the first things the State Department does is to say, who else is there? Are there other Americans? Give us information about who's there. And so we're working on that. We will absolutely go back. Part of our work is to really push them to show the facts, right? Because these individuals are not terrorists. They're not trying to kill the president and the vice president. That's what the Venezuelans believe. So it's our job to convince them, show them the facts, and to actually dig in. This is what the Biden team didn't do. The Biden team didn't even send anyone to the prisons. These individuals that you're looking at, they didn't even get a wellness check from the Biden administration. They had no idea what was going on. No one.
Is that protocol, Rick, to at least get a wellness check?
Of course, it's that's what we do as American diplomats, is to at least get wellness check and to say, do you have a lawyer? We're working on your case. Give them information. These individuals were completely in the dark, so much so, Megyn, that when you were showing that video of me walking out on the tarmac, we were on the tarmac for about 2.5 hours waiting. And I didn't know if they kind of were not going to give us the individuals. We waited and waited, and everybody on the plane, the Americans, were very nervous. I was nervous. What's going to happen? When these cars pulled up, and I was standing there for a little while, I saw the 6 were in individual cars. And I could see from across the tarmac that somebody got out of the car and they had a black hood over their head. And I just stood there thinking, this is an American. I'm an American diplomat. I have the Air Force behind me on an Air Force plane. And we can't just stand here while an American has a hood on his head and is shackled. And so I walked over there, and each individual was being unhooded and unshackled to get on the plane. And I would say to each individual, get on the plane, get on the plane. I'm an American diplomat, go get on the plane right now. One individual, I think there's a picture of me hugging him, was standing in front of me with his black hood over his head. And as they took the hood off, he would later tell me, I had no idea where I was, what was happening, what was gonna happen to me. But when he took his hood off, I looked at him and I said, I'm an American diplomat sent here by Donald Trump. I'm here to take you home, get on the plane. And he broke into tears and hugged me. And I have to say, you know me, personally, I'm an emotional person, but professionally, I'm not emotional at all.
That's right.
It doesn't matter what you say. In my life with my nephews and nieces, I can be the first softie. But professionally, I just don't have emotions. I go and I work. But in that moment, in my 25-year career, I felt emotion rush over me like never before. And I really had to hold back tears. And I just said, get on the plane. We're getting out of here.
We continue to face uncertainty when it comes to the economy, with a perfect storm brewing as Social Security and Medicare hit a breaking point, as the largest generation is, of course, hitting retirement. A smaller workforce means a smaller tax base. You pair that with our growing national debt and rising cost of living, and we could have a big problem. So what are you doing right now to protect your family for the future? Gold can be a safe haven in hard economic times, and Birch Gold makes it easy to diversify a portion of your savings into physical gold. Birch Gold will help you transition an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and it does not cost you 1 cent out of pocket. Protect your future today. Text MK to the number 989898 and get your free info kit on gold and a copy of The Ultimate Guide for Gold in the Trump Era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. There's no obligation, just information. Birch Gold has earned the trust of countless Americans looking to safeguard their savings and diversify them. Text my initials, MK, to the number 989898 to learn more today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.